Welcome to Lifestyle After 5. I am your host, Ali Muhammad. And what's going on, Lord?
What's happening, bro? So, we're going to talk about today who gets access to the spoils of the high tech society. Today, we're diving into what comes after automation wave hits full speed. So, the main subject today is future society after the robots take our hustle. So, me and Ali going to get into that. Uh, let's just get straight into segment one, Ali, the automation tsunami.
So, looking at that, a little background. So, I've been real curious about this, and this has always have piqued my imagination because you promised a world of high tech, you're
Right,
making life easier with less work, and you got more time. But how do you make money, and who owns this stuff? I mean, what happens when
right.
your job disappears? And I don't know. It's exciting, but kind of it's scary at the same time. It's almost like if you got a robot and you send your robot to go make money for the family. So as you talked about in this automation tsunami, AI and robots are predicted to replace 40 to 60% of human jobs by 2035. What in the hell? So that, when you put it, can you imagine 60% of the population don't have jobs? It's already bad when unemployment hits something like 10 to 15%. That's considered drastic. 40 to 60%, what will people do? And it's hitting the top industries like transportation with the autonomous vehicles, retail. You already seen this with Walmart. You can't even
Yep.
find a cashier or anybody to get anything for you. Fast food restaurants are starting to get cooks now that's cooking your food. Maybe they might get some orders right. So I don't know how good or bad that is. But even white collar jobs, AI legal assistants. Yeah, people go to
Yeah.
school to be paralegals and attorneys, and here it is, a robot may come in and do everything that take you a whole day to do. They get it done in a matter of minutes. You know,
With
they,
accuracy.
warehouses are even becoming, AI and robotic driven. It's coming for copywriters, coders, and like I said, even the courtrooms. You may actually have to go before AI judge that can be swayed. But you have to be careful, as we talked about in last week's episode. Another thing that you have to worry about, especially a person of color, is the bias that may creep in on that. You don't want to go before an AI judge and you got somebody of a more favorable complexion or culture decided by AI judge. That may not work out well in your favor.
Exactly.
And so, you know, and from what I'm hearing, even J.P. Morgan has legal AIs that's handling, over 300,000 hours worth of legal work. UPS, and I remember this. UPS and FedEx was testing drones here about 6 years ago. I don't know whatever happened with that, but I've seen it where they were a truck, UPS truck would pull up, and then a drone would get out and fly it to your house. Now, I didn't really understand that concept back then. Don't really know how that would work well, but I'm sure they're still testing it and trying to figure that out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, pretty much, y'all know why this is happening. When the people who control these industries, basically top leaders of these industries, they trying to make money. And the less money they got to pay people, that's more money going towards building systems that can run on its own. And that's also, too, our advantage as well, because at the same time, they building tools to make their lives automated, big companies. We can do the same thing as well. So it's like a double edged sword, I guess, where yeah, you might be shut out by these industries pretty soon, but at the same time, it gives each individual their own power. Even with them doing the labor shift into getting more power and controlling how much money they give to human beings, now we at a great position in our world where the average person can have an autonomous business, you know, at very small cost, not super expensive. But what really matters here at the end of the day is who owns all of this information that's being used to train these artificial intelligent models, or you know, uh, training these new employees or robots. So having your own tools and being a player in the game also makes a difference about owning the knowledge. So I think it's pretty cool seeing it from both perspectives.
Yeah, but I worry about that with AI. If everybody got the knowledge, which everybody do have the knowledge and power, is owning something as great. I mean, if you own a software business and you got your own AI bot developing it, why do I need to shop with you and I can just have my own AI bot create me the business or whatever I need? Basically, anything I can speak and imagine into existence, there's an AI agent that can create it. So I don't
Yep.
understand. What do we do when everybody has this God-like mind that can create for them whatever they speak, can think?
I mean,
That's very different.
there's there's a great world ahead of us. I mean, it's gonna come with its bumps and bruises, but that's why Lifestyle After 5 gives you this information to be thinking about. Because the more awareness that we raise about it, the people, they're obviously not everyone's also going to be able to get in and just start creating, because that it's the same as in this world. You have people who are made to succeed, and then you have people who just do whatever they can, scraping and struggling to get by or whatever. So there's always going to kind of be that until the level field is, the playing field is leveled out this way. Then you can't use traditional systems like that anymore to, what's the word, exploit people. The only reason people are getting exploited is because the level field isn't being
But
not being
but
leveled.
But like you said, and who owns the knowledge though? But are we getting exploited? Because the AI algorithms is trained on our ideals, but we don't own it. It's trained
Yep.
on our books, our music, social posts, even without our permission. And there's copyright battles brewing over this. And
This
then
is facts.
there's educational gaps. Elite schools teach AI literacy, while underfunded schools can't even afford the tools. So now, if you're in school now and you don't know what Chat GPT or your school don't have the AI resources, you're already behind.
Yeah.
And as you alluded to before, with succeeding, not everybody's gonna know how to use it and gonna have the access to it. And this is why we're
Yeah.
trying to give you these early warnings to try to get involved in this stuff now. This is why it's good if you listening to us this far, go ahead and like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs
Facts.
up content, if you would go ahead and drop a comment like, hey, the future is here, or we with you guys.
Yeah. It'll also help our channel keep growing as well, to keep bringing all this information. So shout out to everybody who has made it this far and is continue to watch with us. Just know that I done said it several times, and I'll say it again. Gatekeepers, they're not gonna save you. So it's time to start either getting with the people who are decision makers, who own data, and start working with these people, or go at it yourself. The world is pretty much like open Akashic record now. You can just basically get on the computer, go to the library, get on Amazon. Knowledge is at your fingertips. So those who get grasp onto the knowledge will always be ahead, and it makes it easier for us to come together in these communities like Lifestyle After 5 and start having these type of real conversations.
Let's drop a bomb for everybody that's liking and subscribing.
Real ones get a bomb. Real ones get the Nagasaki bomb.
Let's go back to what we're going to do with the rise of universal basic income, UBI. They've been piloting it in Finland, Chicago, even here in the United States. They've been quietly
That's,
piloting the
that's tight.
universal basic income in South Korea. So AI make the money, and we just government rations all so much money per month, to survive off of. Now, I think it's in Dubai where they do that, where everybody's over there rich because they all live off of the oil resources, the
Type shit.
oil and mineral resources. So everybody over there,
Yeah,
from the outside looking in, seeing like everybody just living life, driving Mercedes Benzes and stuff, and don't care. But
shit,
then
everybody
there's
got a
the
Maybach.
yeah, but then there's the other side of that. And our government, shoot, they don't even want to give you basic health care. So I don't know if our government would be so generous with universal base income.
Yeah, there's always that
They might have
that
us in a project.
yeah. So those of you watching, I always speak about sovereignty. Be a sovereign individual across the globe. It's time to start getting global and real cultural and learning about the world. Because those who don't, and especially if you are like, well, there's no middle class anymore, so you either poor or you got some money.
But mentally, what does
Enough.
that do to us?
Yeah,
Because if your survival is not tied to your 9 to 5, I mean, who are you now? I know some people who their job is their whole identity.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you have no
It's crazy.
job,
I mean, mental difference. You literally got
that
to
lead
be
to bigger depression and anxiety and
yeah.
digital addiction.
Well, I mean, you see the rise of ADHD culture on social media. It's no joke. People regularly talking about it, but social media is the very demon doing it. The fact that you can scroll TikTok and see two videos in one video is crazy work. Sometimes even three. You just can see how people's attention spans are being trained. So that's why being sovereign with using any type of tool, whether that be social media, artificial intelligence, it takes discipline with these tools to really not get sucked into the digital addiction, meaningless, mindless, uh, doom scrolling and fucking surveillance capitalism like the new TikTok where you subscribe to Trump and shit. It just
Now, let's say we
it's time to start building.
now we looked up tips on how we can fight back for the future, but I'm not sure that these tips are actually practical on some of them. And like I said, we don't even know what we're preparing for because it's changing so fast.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing. That's the okay. So last episode I talked about this book called The AI Con by Alex Hanna. It's written by Alex Hanna, yeah. But she works with Dare, and she wrote this book about this very thing that we talking about, the AI Con. This how it's being like perpetrated to us and all this. Really, the smartest thing to do is steal their idea of creating AI and do it better. Because all of these companies are backed by perception. They're not really doing shit. Why you think there's like hundreds and hundreds of AI companies trying to basically beat out Open AI and DeepSeek just popped up overnight? It's mad people doing this shit. So don't get lost in the sauce of all these. They're gonna
But
tell
you
us
gotta
what to do.
realize too, deep seek is backed by a whole country though.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the
They backed
thing.
by
Yeah.
corporations. Small
So
corporations, big corporations. They backed by corporations that are building marketing perception to you because OpenAI ain't shit compared to some other people's AIs. That's why
yeah.
there's other AIs.
You talked about Africa getting their data, and there may be an
Yeah,
African open AI, a large language
that shit.
model. But like I said, we
I
can't
love
wait.
that shit.
I would too. But like I said, we
Yeah.
can't wait to be saved by tech we don't own.
Mm-mm. Hell no.
And we're pushing for community. And like you said, there are community owned AI models. I like this one. I have not checked it out, but they are saying Hugging Face
Yeah.
is a local AI model. We have to check that out and do some research on that.
Yeah. You already know. We gonna come to it first on our futurism channel and always do research. I mean, if we telling you about something, this is just like an entry point for research, which is cool. I like the idea of that.
So we have to get the data dividend laws. It's got to
Hmm.
be kind of like what's in music when you sampling. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you might
yeah.
have to come to sampling.
Hmm. Yeah, everybody get a cut in it. It's gonna be like split sheets. Anybody who makes music y'all know about them split sheet contracts where you gotta write how much percentage the producer gets and the mixer gets and how much, for the credit for the song. It's gonna be like that for everything. It's gonna be split sheet contracts for meme coins. But that's why I like blockchain, because they do all this through software and building blockchains. So coding is still a skill, bro. Do not let these people trick you out of using AI to code. It's still a worthy skill.
Well, we don't sell this stuff to scare you. You just got to be prepared for the future.
Facts.
Uh, there is a model as I was looking through Bishop and Hines. They are fellow futurists, and they got a 5A model that I was looking at that they say you should anticipate, determine the scope and time frame. How far do you want to look ahead? You can't look.
Right.
There's a time and place to look 20 years, but you can't stay 20 years. You got to look six
Yeah.
months, a year,
Yep.
2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. But right now, what I say 10 years, but I don't even know if that's necessary now. They used to have
Right.
it in business, 5 to 10 year plan. But the
Yeah.
world is changing so quick. Whatever you anticipate in past 5 years is likely to not even exist. I mean, like 5 years ago, I would have never imagined ChatGPT or any of these large language
Right.
models, DeepSeek, Gemini, that would make life so much easier. But then,
Dead ass.
and the second one, and anticipate is analyze trends and signals. So you got to be adaptable into this future. You can't be rigid, and you got to anticipate. You got to articulate. You got to develop future scenarios and do
Hmm.
scenario planning.
This is what real futurists do. I would consider futurists like trend forecasters of the past. We pretty much looking ahead to you know map right now. Sometimes we see
Yeah.
it coming, but
And just like we
yeah,
mentioned in last week's series about building programs and joining these
yep,
communities where like they analyzing crime in LA. He said access, that's his fourth one, where
mm,
adjusting plans and strategies based on insights from previous steps and conducting small experiments. And last but not least, number five, you need to act, continuously monitoring and adjusting course. Foresight
yep,
activities are never finished.
yeah,
So
and
anticipate,
it's never
analyze,
is.
articulate, access, and act. It's the 4-5-A model. So
Yep,
we, especially people of color, we either got to code the future or we're gonna get coded out of it.
facts. I'm telling you, man, it's no other way around it. It's gonna be the same thing over and over again. So why now wait and just jump in now early? Like Ali always says, this is the new internet. Whoever creates AI is gonna control and create the new internet. So, which that sounds like an exciting goal. A safer internet, a more intuitive internet. Like, sounds fun to me.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode as our time has come to an end. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't sit there and watch every day. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you're checking
Yeah,
us out on Facebook, like, subscribe, share, there. Leave a comment there as well. Let us know you in the house, a thumbs up or something.
facts.
We
We pretty
appreciate that.
much,
That
yeah,
help keep
we
us in the future. That fuels our
exactly.
future.
Yep. Also, too, we'll keep bringing these episodes back every Tuesday and Thursday, and on the newsletter. And if you want to catch it early, you can catch us live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday and Wednesday. Okay. So, till next time, y'all, we're not
Don't get to
passengers in
join our
this ride.
Discord.
Oh, yeah. That QR code, easy scan, straight up. We in there every day, pretty much having these same conversations. So, don't miss out. Also, the website's getting updated, so y'all can check that out pretty soon. But for now, just catch us on YouTube and our newsletter on Substack, because we helping y'all architect and what's coming up next, giving y'all ideas. So until next time, y'all, peace.